On one of the more patriotic holidays in our country, where do you stand when it comes to patriotism? According to a recent Gallup poll, 75% of Americans say they're extremely proud or very proud to be American. It's a new low, a 6% decline from a previous low recorded in 2016. The poll found that the biggest drop in pride was among Democrats. We sent Meg Ferris out to get reaction on these changes. She joins us live at the World War II Museum. Meg, good evening.
And Ton, another thing that those Gallup surveys find is that millennials, those born in the 80s and 90s, lead the way in the decline of patriotism. So we took that survey to all ages of people here celebrating Independence Day at the World War II Museum, and we got some emotional and interesting answers. In a packed U.S. Freedom Pavilion, the New Orleans concert band played Star-Spangled Salutes to an audience from many states and countries, some dressed in stars and stripes. These millennial college students say patriotism is not something their generation talks about.
Nowadays, everyone's just angry about politics. There's riots everywhere, pro this, pro that, anti this, anti that. You can't say anything without someone blowing up. Everyone's so sensitive nowadays.
But that same survey found that in countries with a high rate of military service, patriotism is also high. And that's what millennials at the World War II Museum said made a difference.
I just have to remind myself of the people that serve our country and the freedom that we get from that.
People my age were fighting in a war that nowadays I can't even imagine having been called to do something such like that. So it's a real mind-opening and awe-inspiring for sure.
At 19, he believes unpatriotic millennials are using it as a way to rebel against their parents' generation. But this Army veteran says strangers of all ages thank him for his service when he wears his veteran's hat.
I don't think there's any decline in patriotism. I'm very proud of the way that the younger generation is embracing patriotism.
And this Generation X man from Texas believes where you grew up makes a difference in your level of patriotism. But it was this museum of the greatest generation that strengthened his already solid patriotism.
This museum, for instance, it really helps you get a new perspective on patriotism. I think mostly because you realize the sacrifice that people made for us.
And who knows if this youngster's taken a civics class yet, but somehow this centennial found it easy to speak out about his pride in the country.
I would like to live in this country because I like the rights that we have, and I like the fact that we get to vote on our own president.
And some of the millennials who we spoke with said they avoid talking politics with their friends because they just don't like confrontation. And they believe that when they read things these days that it has much more bias in it than when their parents were their age and they were reading information. Reporting live from the World War II Museum, Meg Ferris, Eyewitness News.